please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live.
Hey everybody, so I want to do something a little different today. I want to look back on the exhibition games and just look at the ones that I actually got to watch and talk about some things that stood out to me in those games, things that I really noticed. Obviously, I'm only going to do this for the games that I actually got to see. Wouldn't make sense for me to talk about something that I didn't actually get to watch, and I would just be making stuff up. But we're going to start with Washington and Carolina. So this was the first exhibition game that I got to see during the whole 3 days of exhibition games. And I'll tell you, both of those teams in my mind looked pretty good, but there were three specific things that I want to talk about from that game that I really, really noticed. The first one being the Washington Capitals' physicality. This team is built for the playoffs. This Washington team did not matter that it was the first game back, did not matter that it was an exhibition game. They were out there throwing their bodies around. And it wasn't just Tom Wilson. It wasn't just Tom Wilson. It was Garnet Hathaway. It was Brendan Dillon. It was Michael Kempney. I mean, this was a full team effort physically by the Washington Capitals to come out and really throw their weight around and play a playoff-style hockey game. Even their star players like Ovechkin and Oshie are very physical, and this is a team that is built for big boy playoff hockey, and they showed it in that exhibition game. I was very, very... I don't want to say surprised because they're a physical team and they're built that way on purpose, but it really jumped off the screen how physical Washington was with the Carolina Hurricanes, and Carolina really didn't have much of an answer for it. Vincent Trocheck in particular kind of got physically abused in that game. He got pushed around. He was taking hits left and right. And Washington was just all over the Hurricanes physically. So that's definitely something to watch going into the playoffs and well, for Washington to play the round robin. Washington's one of the most physical teams in the NHL, and they showed it in their exhibition game. They're built that way on purpose. They play big boy playoff style hockey. And we know that in the playoffs, that's the way the game goes. It's 100 times more physical than the regular season. Every check is finished, and this Washington team is really, really built to be able to handle that. Second thing I want to talk about is from a Carolina perspective. Carolina's forecheck was fantastic in that game against Washington. During the stream, I said it over and over and over again about how quickly Carolina's forecheck was on the puck carrier, all over the place back there for when the Capitals were in their own zone. As soon as their defenseman touched it, they had a Hurricane player right on top of them. Sometimes two Hurricane players right on top of them. The forecheck for Carolina was just relentless, and it was really, really good. Obviously, Carolina only scored a couple goals in the game. It didn't really directly lead to goals in this particular game, but if they bring a forecheck like that especially against a team like the Rangers who have a young defense, they're going to be causing a lot of turnovers in their play-in series. And I was just really, really impressed with how relentless, how quick, how just all over the puck carrier Carolina's forecheck was in that game. And it wasn't just one period either. It was throughout the game. It was very impressive to watch. So out of everything that Carolina did, I think the biggest positive that I saw was how good that forecheck was in that game. And it was at a playoff level for sure. And the last thing kind of goes for both teams, and it is for both teams. Their skating game was there on both sides in that game on Wednesday. It was a very quick, fast-paced hockey game, and right from the get-go, there was no slow period in that game. There's ebbs and flows to every game, but there was no slow period in that game. There was no waiting to get their legs back under them. That was, from the get-go, very, very much a fast-paced, regular style hockey game that, they didn't look slow or rusty at all as far as the skating is concerned. Both of these teams clearly came back in shape, or at least have gotten in shape over the course of training camp, and they are ready to play at an NHL pace. And It was a close game all the way through, and Carolina certainly didn't play poorly, even though they lost the game. I know some teams, you look at what happened or the scores and you think, what the hell happened there? This wasn't one of those games where one team was dominant and the other one looked bad. It was a competitive game all the way through, and Washington obviously was good enough to win the game, and they looked very good as well. But Carolina, I think, looked pretty good as well, and they played a solid game. And they just couldn't capitalize on their scoring chances enough. But in the end, it wasn't a bad effort from Carolina at all. And for Washington, their skating legs were there as well. Their physicality was there. They were fully ready to go when the puck was dropped in that game. And both of those teams were up and down the ice. They looked like they were in good shape. No one was really lagging behind. No one was really slow. They brought their skating game, and they both look ready to play at an NHL playoff pace. And that's obviously very good to see, because their next game will be meaningful playoff style hockey games that actually mean something. And, that's it for the exhibition. So, that's pretty much what I got. I just wanted to talk about 3 things that I really noticed that stuck out to me in the Carolina-Washington game. I'll be doing these videos for the other exhibition games that I got to actually watch as well. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, links are donation link, Patreon, and merchandise store down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.